Okay, we're all going to start off with an empty isometric room, and we're going to start filling it up with things. And the easiest thing for us to start with is a picture frame. But I don't want it to be an empty picture frame. I want it to have some artwork in it. So I'm going to create my picture frame, and I'm going to import some artwork. In this case, there's a really famous Japanese wave that I like. And it's super huge. I don't want it to be this huge. I want it to fit in my room. And so in my room, all the walls are 8 inches by 8 inches. So let's change this to maybe be 2 inches. And I can zoom back in, and I can see that this will fit inside my room. Okay, but this is still orthographic, and let's go ahead and design this to sit on the left wall, which means it'll be on the right face. So I want this to look like it has a picture frame in it, so I'm going to create a rectangle, and I'm going to resize it to be a little bit bigger than my picture. Okay, maybe this needs to be 2.5. Okay, so that looks like the size of a picture frame. And since this is blue, I'm going to try to pick a color that complements blue. So I want to fill this with possibly another cool tone, and I need this to be behind, so I'm going to drag it so that picture's behind. That doesn't do exactly what I want. Let's try to do more of slightly orangey. Okay, and then I can put an outline around my picture frame, hopefully, so that it looks like a frame. So yeah, just a simple outline. Okay, so that looks like a picture, but I want it to look like it's a picture frame on the left wall. So I want to group these two things, and then I want to transform it. And I know that when I want it to be on my right face, then I want both of these to be -30, and then I want this to be scaled to 0.866. Okay, but I want it to pop out of the wall a little bit, just a tiny, tiny little bit. So I'm gonna add a rectangle. I don't need it to be very tall, maybe just 0.25. I do want it to be the same dimensions as my rectangle, so the X I had made 2.5, so let's do the same thing with this guy. We'll make it 2.5, and then the Y can be super small, so my walls are 0.25, so I'll make this 1.25, which is 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to fill this the same color as my wall, which is my frame, which is right there. And now I just need to transform that, not directly on my rectangle, but I'm going to do a Control-G, and then I'm going to transform it with what I would usually do for a top face, 30, -30, and then this would be 0.86, but it looks like I mix these two, so this should be 0.125, and then this should be 2.5. Okay, so now that's going to align directly on top of my frame. Just to make it easier, what I might do is I might go ahead and at the transform level, at the group level, I'm gonna move everything so that it anchors into the origin. Okay, and then my last part of my picture frame is gonna be that front face. So I'll have that. This will have the height of my picture frame, and just like my other one, 0.125 is 1/8 of an inch. I want this to now be positive 30 with the fill that's the same color as my picture frame. And then I can just grab on that corner and lock it into the origin. Okay, now that looks, oh, I forgot to do my transform. Oh, and you know what? I did what I kept on telling you not to do, which is I transformed the rectangle. So let's set that back to 0, and then let's do a Control G on that so that we can transform the group instead of the rectangle. That lets us move that to 0.866, and then that's going to be positive 30, and then I can grab that corner and lock it into the origin. Okay, you don't have to resize this or anything, it just needs to look isometric. So now that I have a picture frame, I can go back to my room and I can drag my picture frame onto my wall, and it looks like a picture frame on the wall.